1536, in the city of Trier, Caspar Olevianus was born. His father, Gerhard, was both a baker and a prominent city councillor. Sadly, he died unexpectedly when Caspar was still young. Caspar was left in the care of his grandfather. After attending the local preparatory schools, his grandfather sent him to France to study law. Olevianus proved to be a bright student, but he soon began to learn about more than law in France. He was also exposed to the vigorous Protestant movement, inspired in no small part by the writings of John Calvin. Later, as he was studying law in Bourges, he met the son of Elector Frederick III, who was also studying there. The two became good friends. One evening, though, tragedy struck. The two young men were on a ferry boat crossing the river. A group of drunken students were also on the boat, causing a ruckus. Before long, the boat capsized. Olevianus attempted to save Frederick III's son, but sadly he was unsuccessful, though he himself was spared and made it to shore alive. That tragic night had a profound effect on Olevianus, and he vowed to serve the Lord, not as a lawyer, but as a preacher. In order to fulfill this newfound focus in life, Olevianus soon traveled to various Reformed cities, learning from prominent reformers such as John Calvin, Henry Bullinger, Guillaume Farel, and Theodore Beza. It was quite an illustrious group of mentors to have, albeit for a short time. After soaking up as much solid doctrine as he could from these men, Olevianus returned to Trier, his hometown, and began teaching Latin at the local high school in 1559. However, Olevianus' passion and vision was to preach the gospel, not just teach some Latin. As he began preaching the evangelical doctrines of salvation by grace through faith, Archbishop Johann von der Leyen made it abundantly clear that he did not appreciate Olevianus' sermons. In fact, before long, Olevianus and others were imprisoned for their faith. Upon hearing this, Elector Frederick III and some others pulled the necessary strings in order to free Olevianus from his confinement and bring him to Heidelberg. In January 1560, Caspar Olevianus arrived in Heidelberg and began by teaching theology at the university. Soon enough, though, he relinquished this post to Zacharias Ursinus, who arrived shortly after he did. Ursinus was better equipped for the responsibilities of a professor of dogmatics. This also allowed Olevianus to fulfill his primary passion, preaching. After a short time as pastor in the St. Peter's Church, he became one of the preachers in the main church, the Heilige Kirche. Later on, when Frederick III died and Ludwig VI succeeded him as elector, the circumstances were no longer so favorable for Olevianus in Heidelberg. He was eventually sent out of the city and went on to continue serving the cause of the Reformation in the area of Wetterau and Herborn. He died in Herborn on 15th of March, 1587.